Look, don't shoot me, I'm just a messenger. But have you ever made a sexual decision in the moment and then right after you thought to yourself, like, why the hell did I just do that? Well, that feeling right there is what people call post-nut clarity. But here's the real question. Why does the mind suddenly get clear after you made the decision and not before it? And what role does alcohol, drugs, and sexual urges play in clouding your judgment? So grab your popcorn because today we're going to break it all down psychologically, physically, and spiritually. So let's first talk about what post-nut clarity is. Now, post-nut clarity is that moment right after that sexual release when your mind becomes clear again. Meaning before that moment, you're going to be driven by sexual desires, so your focus is going to be more narrow and your judgment is going to be a little bit weaker than normal. And then like that, soon as you release, I'm talking about soon as you release, the desire goes away, the emotions settle, and then logic just somehow returns. Why is that? That's because the chemicals in your brain, they're shifting. You see, before the release, the dopamine spikes. Now, your dopamine is the pleasure chemical in your brain, but after the release, what happens? It drops. So when that drops, the prolactin rises, which reduces desire. So your brain literally goes from I need this now to I'm thinking straight again, which means you weren't thinking clearly before. So the issue isn't clarity. It's not if you have a clear mind. You have the potential to have a clear mind. The issue is the clarity that comes after you already made the decision, which is the dangerous part. And I say that because the truth is, decisions made in high desire states always lead to about three things. That's poor judgment, that's regret, and that's compromising your standards. And this might reveal where you are at mentally at the moment, because if you want to do it with a clear mind, why would you do it with a clouded mind? But look, it gets even deeper because sexual desire alone isn't going to be the only thing that's going to affect your thinking. You see, when you add alcohol and good conversation to the mix, it's going to automatically lower your guard. So let's talk a little bit about that. You see, alcohol doesn't just relax you, it shuts down the brain's control center. Specifically, it weakens the prefrontal cortex, and this is where your decision making comes from. It lowers that internal strength that tells you to pause and wait and think about it before you make a decision. And it increases your impulsivity. That's why people say things that they wouldn't normally say, they do things they wouldn't normally do, and they hook up with people that they wouldn't normally choose. Now, combine sexual desire with alcohol, and you don't just have a clouded mind, you have a disabled filter. That's why so many regrets start with I was drunk, because alcohol didn't create the desire. What it did, it just removed all the restraints. Now, if alcohol removes restraint, what do you think will happen if you add a substance that's going to increase desires too? You see, you're not just lowering your guard, you're turning the volume up on that urge at the same time. So let's break this down, because this is where things can get dangerous real fast. You see, there's certain drugs that have chemicals in it that's not made to just relax you, but actually amplify your sexual desires, but reduce your ability to think clear at the same time. So it really doesn't work out. For example, you have stimulants such as cocaine, meth, or any misused amphetamines. These drugs have chemicals in it that spike the dopamine, which is the brain's pleasure chemical. So what happens after these chemicals enter the body is that your sexual desire is going to go up, your confidence is going to go up, and you're going to be more prone to your impulsive activities. People on these drugs can become hyper-focused on pleasure, especially sexual pleasure, meaning not thinking, just chasing the feeling. Alright, then we have party drugs such as MDMA and GHB. Now, MDMA is Molly or ecstasy. Now, these don't only increase sensation, but they increase your emotional openness and physical sensitivity. So now it feels like I'm deeply connected to this person. This feels amazing and I trust the moment. But the truth is, your perception is just altered. Meaning your guard is down, your awareness down, and your boundaries are blurred. Let's be real, even marijuana for some people can heighten sensation, lower anxiety, and increase focus on pleasure. So again, less resistance, more indulgence. When you combine increased desires with decreased judgment, you create a perfect environment for bad decision making. At that point, you're not making decisions based on your values, you're basing your reaction on impulses. And guess what? Impulse don't care about your standards, your future, or consequences. Now, let's go even deeper, because drugs and alcohol aren't the root problem. They're just exposing something that's already there, and that's the power of sexual urge itself. Now, sexual desire is powerful. It's nothing weak about it. It's strong by design. But here's the truth. Strong urges can override strong values if you're not disciplined. And I say that because three things happen in high desire moments. One, your brain prioritizes pleasure over consequences. Two, your long-term thinking shuts down for short-term pleasure. And three, you only become focused on the moment. That's why people break boundaries, ignore standards, and compromise what they say they'll never do. Then afterward, clarity returns. And now you're thinking, this is not even who I am. Why would I do something like that? And look, the answer is so simple. You made a permanent decision in a temporary state. So now let's talk about how to stay in control so you can protect yourself. Number one, recognize your state of mind. If you are highly aroused, highly emotional, or under the influence, you are not in your clearest thinking state. Number two, delay your decisions. Do not make choices in high desire moments. Give yourself time to cool down and make rational decisions. Number three, set boundaries before the moment, because in the moment, that's when your willpower drops. Decide ahead of time what you will do and what you won't do. Number four, limit environments that weaken you, whether that be the bar, club, lounge, strip club, or people with addictions. Always remember, anything that lowers your control is going to raise your risk. And number five, train discipline. You see, discipline is doing what is right even when your desire says otherwise. Now, this is how you stay aligned with who you really are. So let me close this message out by saying this. Post-nut clarity is not giving you a new mind. What it is revealing the one you had before the desire took over. So the goal is not to rely on clarity after the fact. It's to rely on clarity before the act. Because your best decisions is made when your mind is clear, not when it's controlled. Now, if this helps you think differently, please hit that subscribe button, press that like, and share this with somebody who needs it. Stay disciplined, stay aware, and stay in control. As always, I hope this message helped at least one person. I will be back at you again tomorrow with another one. Until then, I need you to keep your head on a swivel. Love yourself and only help who wants to be helped. I love y'all. I'm out.